What's up, Game Rant community? This week in Game Rant threads, we had one of our readers, Frankie, ask for some recommendations for cozy games, and the GR community really pulled through for them. So let's have a look at some of the recommendations you had. So two very obvious inclusions that we won't mention in this list because they were actually mentioned by the person asking are Stardew Valley and Palia. They're looking for something different from those two. So Francisca, you're not the only one that mentioned it. Personally, I love Stardew Valley and Palia, but feel the same way. I'd like some more variety. A few months ago, I found this super cozy island game called Coral Island. I absolutely adored it. It reminded me of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. I personally haven't played Coral Island. Cozy games are a genre I'm sort of only just getting into. Like, believe it or not, it's my first playthrough of Stardew Valley, but I look at Coral Island and I'm like, yeah, okay, I've got to put this one on the backlog. So it's described as a vibrant, laid-back reimagining of a farm sim game. Be who you want, experience Enchanting Island, living at your own pace, live off the land, nurture animals, build relationships with a diverse cast of townsfolk. It very much has a Stardew Valley feel to it, but with, we don't have the pixel art in this case. It's got a very positive review on Steam, which is always great to hear. If you're a cozy game enthusiast, then I think if you haven't played it yet, it's definitely one to take a look at. Alright, the username is kind of giving me some confidence here. So Cozy Minecraft Potterhead said, if you love Disney and Pixar, then Disney Dreamlight Valley is really fun. Has a good story, might get a little dark in some parts, and has great cozy elements like fishing and gardening. It's getting regular updates and just had one a few weeks ago. That is one I have played, and it is a great game for those looking for something cozy and also something familiar. What's kind of makes Disney Dreamlight stand apart from other cozy games is that there's already a host of familiar characters that we have backstories about, and we've already established relationships through our love of Disney and our love of Pixar. So even if you're not a massive Disney Pixar fan but you love cozy games, I definitely think this is a great one to pick because it's got all of those elements that you enjoy from other games like Palia and Stardew Valley. There's farming, there's cooking, there's mining, resource collection. There's a host of different characters. And what's great about Disney Dreamlight Valley is that you collect the characters. So you're not bombarded from the start. You'll have, I think it's Mickey at the start, but you get to choose who comes into your valley next. And as mentioned just before, there has been a host of expansions. And I believe Alice, at the time of recording this, Alice in Wonderland was the most recent one. So yeah, there's definitely plenty of reason to play it. They give you plenty of reasons to keep coming back to it as well with a multitude of DLC and content updates. So it's definitely one that if you're a cozy fan, especially when it comes to Disney, you should definitely give it a shot. This was another one that was mentioned a couple of times, but I want to focus on what you said. Edwin, I really loved my time at Sandrock. Takes the formula away from farming and more towards building. It's a blast and a surprisingly deep game. This was one that was on my radar quite recently. So my time at Sandrock is the sequel to my time at Portia. So you've got two games right there ready to go. What's great about what you've just said there, Edwin, my time at Sandrock kind of takes away from the farming element and focuses more on building because there are a lot of great cozy farm sim games that sometimes, especially if you're playing, back-to-back titles that have similar mechanics, it's great to have something that doesn't focus too much on the farming. I personally have really loved the farming aspect of it, but it is nice to get a fresh take. So yeah, it focuses a lot more on the building aspect of things, and it's set in the desert, so it's a very different feel to Dreamlight Valley. It's a very different feel than Palia. So it does offer a bit more variety in the sense that it's giving you different biomes and it's giving you slightly different game mechanics, so you can still get that cozy experience that you've been searching for, but with a little tweak here and there. Keta, you've mentioned a couple. I'm not going to have time to go through them all, but I'm going to focus on one in particular. Have a look at the trailers for I Am Future, Dredge, and Mini Motorways, and Raft. A shout out to a couple of Kiwi game companies out there. As an Australian, I feel almost obliged to give a shout out to my trans-Tasman friends and sometimes rivals in New Zealand. Raft is an interesting one because yes, it is pretty cozy, but it has a lot of survival elements as well. So if you're looking for cozy with a dash of challenge, then Raft might be a good one for you as well. As the name might suggest, you are stranded on a raft and basically you just got to sort of build your way up. As is the case with a lot of these cozy games, the farm sims and stuff, it's about resource collection and whatnot. But given that it is primarily a survival game, there's obviously going to be survival elements to it. So there is a bit more challenge, there is a little more pressure than you would generally get with a cozy game, but still worth checking out. And those other suggestions you had there, in particular Dredge, I hear a lot of great things about. Personally, I haven't had time to check it out just yet. That is another great selection. So some really great choices there. So thank you very much, Keta. And we'll wrap it up. Krek, what have you said? Five Nights at Freddy's. if you had to ask me this question, there have been pretty much all the ones I'm familiar with have been mentioned already, but there are two in particular I've got on my radar coming up very soon. One of them is Tales of the Shire. Of course, everybody knows Lord of the Rings. We've got a Hobbit-inspired game coming up where you get to play as a Hobbit in a Hobbit village, doing all Hobbit things, second breakfast, 11sies, all the meals. You get to do all of that. I'm really, really looking forward to that game. Haven't been too worried about it being delayed. As long as the product comes out good, I'm very excited. I'm not going to focus too much on that though. The other one I want to talk about is Voyagers of Nera. Now, I had a chance to talk to the developer last year at Gamescom, and the game looks spectacular. Currently a demo on Steam. It is coming out in a few months. I don't think there's an official release date yet. It feels to me like kind of like a Palia, kind of like a Dreamlight Valley in a sense, but it feels very Moana. There's a lot of seafaring adventuring going on. There's a lot of those mechanics that you come to love about cozy games. There are cooperative elements to it. Overall, it's a stunning game as far as visuals are concerned. So definitely worth keeping your eye on it. Voyagers of Nera. So shout out to the dev team there. You guys have got something special coming up, I think. So I'm really excited for that one. I think we've got a good year for cozy games this year in 2025. So plenty to look forward to. Well, that's all I've got time for, but there have been a lot of really great cozy game suggestions and recommendations in that thread, so feel free to jump on and have a look at it, or if we've missed any, please, by all means, enlighten us, because you can never have too many cozy games. But really appreciate you guys coming and getting involved, or even following along. I hope you found something for your backlog. If you've got anything you want to contribute, whether it be a question, an opinion on your favorite game, favorite movie, anime, whatever it may be, feel free to submit a thread to us at GameRant.com, and then maybe next week I can come back and I can talk about your thread. But in the meantime, hope you have a great week, happy gaming, and we'll see you around on GameRant.com.